What's up? It's your boy D Change coming at ya with another Daily Dave. I missed two of these yesterday and the day before, so I gotta make that video where I talk about taking a break. I mean, there's a case to be made for taking breaks, right? I mean, I was on a hot streak before, and then I kind of dropped it somewhere along the lines, and then yeah, I guess I just wasn't feeling it, you know? Just wasn't feeling it. At the same time, can't help but feel bad because I'm committing that sin of like habits. It's like once you break the chain twice, you make it significantly harder to jump back on. So I will admit, I had considered, just kind of not doing it today. But I guess that's the thing about showing up, right? There's that saying where it's like an amateur shows up when they feel like it, a professional shows up because they have to. I don't know, it's something. I'm probably saying it completely wrong. Like there's like a really subtle difference between an amateur and a professional, at least according to that saying. And I think at first glance it seems true, but I don't know if I would truly agree with it. So I don't know. I kind of have to find the saying again. I don't even know what it says. So I don't even know what I'm talking about. But yeah. Yeah, the habit breaking thing. Yeah, so I guess the problem is just yeah, like I said, I just wasn't feeling it. Maybe quarantine is getting to me, maybe it's just I kind of slipped my mind or whatnot. It's not exactly something that I would say is super troubling, because to be fair, this is a pretty casual thing. I am starting to consider if maybe I should do this daily on a weekday basis, like maybe keep the weekends free. But at the same time, I don't know, I kind of enjoyed the challenge originally of doing it every single day. So there's gonna have to be, I think it's natural for me to kind of rethink how this is gonna work, right? Or at least think about what the road ahead looks like. Not too seriously though. Again, it's literally just like, I don't want to downplay it. I do feel bad for missing out, but at the same time, it's it's also not that bad. I'm also not particularly treating this like it's some sort of huge piece of value for everyone, right? So I definitely feel like if people paid me a bunch of money to do this, there would be a lot more weighing on my shoulders. But yeah, this is just kind of a fun creative project to have. So yeah, I guess today's topic is taking breaks. Like when do you know it's a good time to take a break? How do you take a break? And all that jazz. I'm just kidding, I don't have anything prepared. I guess to answer that question though, it's really cliche. It's like, is your heart in it, or are you feeling it, But at the same time, it's very true that if you kind of like turn away at every like point of adversity, you're kind of not gonna get anywhere. Like there's clearly value to pushing through. And so I've felt that before, where it almost seems like it's too late, or it's a waste to record a Daily Dave, I mean, but I would still do it because I knew that it was kind of like a promise to myself. So what happened these last couple of days? I don't know. I mean, in a way it was the weekend. In a way it was like something about my energy levels was not so great. I'm still feeling it today, man. Like I had like a stomach ache and everything, and like a huge bout of nausea right before a meeting that I had to go into. So it's really it's kind of making me think about like what are my What am I doing to myself? What are my habits? What food am I putting into myself? How am I sleeping? And all of it's bad. So it's a clear sign that like there are other things at play here. There are like my body is trying to tell me something. But I have to admit, it's hard. Sometimes it's hard to interpret because I think in modern day life, maybe we don't listen to our bodies as much as we used to, or as much as our ancestors did. So I don't know, you know. But anyway, in my case, when's a good time to take a break? I mean, I would say if you've pushed along for quite a bit and like, you know, you feel like it's a pain to do, or you know, you're prioritizing the work more than your own health or life more often than not. I guess that's kind of a strange subject to broach, because like a lot of that like hustle porn and stuff that you hear is going to tell you that like, hey, you know, you're gonna feel like shit for a really long time and you just gotta push through it. But sometimes it's legitimately not healthy to keep pushing, you know? It's like if you're running a cross-country race and you injure your leg. I'm not gonna say you break your leg, because then at that point, like you really shouldn't run. I'm sure there's people who've tried, but you like sprain your ankle, or like you pull a muscle really like, and it's very debilitating. Do you keep running on that leg, like through sustained damage, or do you throw in the towel and admit like, not today? I don't know. Everyone has a different threshold for that, you know? I think when I was younger, there was a part of me that would say, no, we gotta push through it, right? But at the same time, I've never been the type of person who's like super high on the pain tolerance scale. I wasn't super into, you know, we gotta win it at all costs, that type of stuff. It's funny, there was this like personality test thing that I was given one time, and I tried to assess my competitiveness, and I got like a 0 out of 100. And the guy interviewing me was like, I've never seen this before. I was like, wow, this does not bode well for my future, does it? So I don't know. Sometimes you know, sometimes these like personality tests reveal interesting things about you, but at the same time, like how much of it can you actually believe in, you know? I like to be cooperative if possible, but I understand my shortcomings as well. And it's not that I'm like not actually competitive. Maybe. I don't know though. It's been a while since I've been in any sort of competitive setting. So I don't know. Maybe that's one thing with the DailyDave, right? If someone else I knew was doing something similar, maybe I would feel like I'd be letting them down if I didn't do it every single day. But like, let's be real here. It's like I said before, it's the value of this is intrinsic. I'm doing this basically for myself, and so I feel like if I do miss it, the only disservice out there is a disservice to myself, right? I think when I was younger, I would have been much more in the camp of like, oh, I'm so sorry everyone, I didn't mean to miss out. And that's like a type of pressure that at least for this, I really don't need. And so I'm happy to be able to admit that. Now this might change anytime in the future or anytime soon. I might completely regret making this video, but at the current moment, I feel like that's what's right. And so maybe in a way, that's kind of what helps to define when you need to take a break. Like if what you're doing just doesn't feel right, then don't do it. Maybe. I don't know. I don't make definitive statements. That's my character trait. So anyway, I just felt like I needed to maybe I feel like I needed to take some time off. Maybe it was more like I just missed it and didn't really feel like getting into the grind. But again, that's also because of it's not just one thing, right? It's part of a system of things, and it's clear to me that my system has been failing me, so I'm gonna have to make some adjustments. But at the same time, I can't beat myself up over that, right? A system of habits is still a system you can work on. There might be one part of it that fails, but you can fix that part, right? So like one reason why I didn't record one video this weekend was because by the time I had thought about recording this video, and here's the thing, I tend to record these videos past midnight. By the time I thought about recording it, I was already in my bed, like ready to sleep. So that's a clear indicator that like if I want to keep doing this on a daily basis, I can't be putting it off until the end of the day. And I'm sure you've noticed a lot of times I'm recording this and I'm like tired. It's because that's the end of my day. So I could be moving it to a different time of the day. That's one adjustment I can make in the system. Another one is literally just if I'm thinking about taking a break on the bed, or just like getting ready to go to sleep, I need to kick myself in the butt and be like, nope, we still got to do it. So there's different ways to kind of think about it. And yeah, I guess what I want to do in order to make sure I'm not making this like into a habit of like skipping out on these, I do want to adjust my system. But at the same time, it's not set in stone. I don't need to be a perfectionist, quote unquote. That's a bad word too. It's not even about being perfect. It's what is the saying? It's like when you call yourself a perfectionist, you don't actually seek perfection. You seek like an excuse to it's part of procrastination, and the entire like mental there's no good way to say this. I was gonna use like some sort of word like deficiency or something, but that's not correct. But it's all part of the family of like kind of considered negative behaviors we do to ourselves, right? That whole like, oh, I can't deliver, I procrastinate on purpose, I can't deliver until it's perfect, don't even try, so that you don't actually face failure, you just quit. The difference between failure and quitting, right? Because failure is like you tried, you didn't hit the mark, and you learned. Like that's the idea behind it. But quitting just literally means I'm not even gonna try. I would rather be given like a 0/no pass than to try and be graded on my attempt. So yeah, that's why we should not use perfectionist as a at least that's my school of thought. I used to use it sparingly, but I would hear too many people use that phrase, and I think it's not good for us to pretend that we hold ourselves to such a standard, because I think the more realistically, it's not about perfection. It's more, I don't know, it's some sort of warped view of perfection. It's more like some sort of anxiety, fear of rejection, that type of stuff, right? Like putting stuff out there and getting attacked. I get it, man. It doesn't feel good. I don't particularly like it when I put stuff out there and the only comments I get are negative ones, or like I'm being told like what to do. It's just a part of life, I guess. Maybe some people learn to accept it better than others, but yeah, that's just the way it is. Shrug. I don't know. Anyway, thanks for coming to my TED Talk. I'll see you in the next one, which may or may not be tomorrow. All right, peace out.